the driest place on Earth. This is the Atacama Desert. Located in northern Chile, the arid Atacama Desert boasts some of the most incredible landscapes that make you feel like you've been transported to Mars. With such low rainfall that some parts don't see any for 4 years, and some of the plains sitting at 4,000 meters above sea level, Atacama is a truly unique place on the planet. While many people tend to head straight to Chile's Patagonia and skipping over this vast landscape, in this video, we'll bring you guys with us on our 3-day journey, exploring some of the best places to visit in hopes of convincing you to see them for yourselves. Let's begin our adventure with our very first stop, Piedras Rojas.
Good morning from the Atacama Desert. We're so excited because over the next few days, we're gonna take you guys along some of the best places you can visit in the entire area.
Currently, we're on the road heading south to our very first spot, Piedras Rojas and the Lagunas Altiplánicas. Every single major attraction here needs an entrance fee, but we're gonna explain a little bit later because this one in particular is a little bit trickier.
About an hour south from San Pedro de Atacama, the main town that most people are going to be staying in, we have made it over to the extremely small town of Socaré. Now, most of the spots you want to visit here in the Atacama Desert, you can just buy the tickets online or just buy it when you get there. But to get over to Piedras Rojas as well as Lagunas Altiplánicas, you actually need to buy the tickets online, head over to this extremely small building, and you need to go and check in. They need to verify like your passport, your identity. If you have your own car like us, they need your license plate, and then they'll hand you a paper ticket. And this is the only way for you to go and visit these spots, or else they will not let you in. But Lauren is just in there right now checking in, and then let's head over to the first spot, Piedras Rojas. After hopping back on the road from Socaré, it took another hour and we finally made it to our first stop, Piedras Rojas. But the official name for this area is Salar de Aguas Calientes Sur, which includes Piedras Rojas, which is the main viewport that we want to get to. Now, when you book your tickets online, you do need to indicate a time slot, and they are strict about it. You do need to pick, are you going to go do the Lagunas first, or are you going to come here to Piedras Rojas? We picked Piedras Rojas. That's why we're here right now, walking along this really cool trail that is lined with these jagged rocks. We can see a bit of the water. We can see the beautiful salt flats. This is gonna be a great start to the day.
This entire trail is a full loop and it will take about 20 to 30 minutes to complete. It's so well defined, and we're the only ones out here right now because we chose the earliest time slot of 9 a.m., which isn't even that early, but the tour groups haven't arrived yet, which is amazing. It's so incredibly quiet, and we're noticing a lot of the red stones just pop out on both sides. I mean, that's what Piedras Rojas means. And it's kind of like matching the color of my pants right now. We're gonna keep walking. We're getting a lot closer to the Salar de Aguas Calientes Sur, which is the salt flats of the southern hot waters.
Just 5 minutes further down the road, you actually come to this beautiful viewpoint, seeing the entire salt flats. And this, honestly, in our opinion, it actually looks better than it does over at Piedras Rojas. And by the way, this spot, this viewpoint is 100% free. You can see so many flamingos just chilling in the salt water over there. We also saw some viconias just trailing along the rocks. This is so beautiful. This is 100% better looking than Piedras Rojas. Yes, over there you do get a little bit closer to the salt and the water itself, which, by the way, if you guys want to do that, go right ahead. I mean, we did it too, but if you want the best view, it's not gonna get better than this.
We mentioned that we were coming to Lagunas Altiplánicas, and they have that name because it's two lakes that are at really high altitude. We're currently at 4,200 meters of elevation, and I can really feel it in my head, but they actually have two different names. There are two lakes here. One is Miscanti, the other one is Miniques. When we came to the entry point, we actually were told to come out of our vehicles so they could show us this whole demonstration, give us proper instructions, and it was really cute. They actually used little toy cars to show us how we would be guided along the entire path.
Just like over at Piedras Rojas, we are also met with a really organized set of walking trails with rocks lining as to where you can and cannot go. As you can see, the lake is still quite far from us, and unfortunately this right here is already the limit. And I totally get it, it's for preservation reasons, but I definitely do wish that we can get a little bit closer to the lake, so it is just slightly disappointing. But I will have to admit, the color of that lake is so vibrantly blue, especially with the mountains right there lining it.
Buenos dias! It is our day 2 of exploring the desert, and today we're only 15 minutes away from the main town of San Pedro. We're going to be exploring Valle de Marte, which means Mars Valley, but also known as Valle de la Muerte, which is Death Valley. Somebody just thought that Muerte and Marte were the same thing, and the name just stuck.
The entrance opens at 8:30 in the morning, and it costs 6,000 Chilean pesos per person. Now, there's a dedicated parking area for your vehicle. You just park it over there, and then you actually go on a looped hike. There's a mirador we're gonna hit up, a great viewpoint overlooking the valley, and then afterwards, I think on the loop back, we actually get to hike on the sand dunes themselves.
Finally came into some shade, which is really nice. And I was just looking on the rocks. There are walls on each side of us. And I was just thinking, oh, it'd be so cool to find some hieroglyphs. What is this? What's this right here? That is so neat.
We just made it up to the mirador, overseeing the entire Valle de Marte. This is actually insane. We thought it was just one little viewpoint. Look how massive this viewing area is. You literally have 360 degrees of the desert, the rocks, the mountains. This is such a beautiful viewpoint.
This terrain is so rough right now. The signs are no more. After the one that pointed going downwards, we don't see any other arrows. So we're essentially just following the footsteps of the previous people who were here, and they're a little bit faded right now. So I think we're just gonna try to go downhill as safe as possible. The rocks are super jagged, very sharp, and a lot of them are very loose. So we're trying to just be careful of our footing as we step on the sand.
Ooh, I have no idea if this is the right way or not, but we're just gonna try it and try our best to get down safely. We have pretty much made it down. We made it down to the sand dunes, and our car's literally right over there. Honestly, this entire journey has been a little bit sketch, but I'm so glad we made it out to the sand dunes. Everything just looks so clean and crisp. It's as if we were the only ones to ever step foot in this desert.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh man, guarantee you there's more hidden in there that I don't know about. I have more in my right one as well. Woo, what a journey. But after 3.5 hours, mind you, with a lot of stops for photo and video, we finally made it back down to our car. Even though the end was a little bit sketchy, hiking down those rocks as well as the sand dune, we had such a blast of a day, and we highly recommend you guys come here too. Now in the afternoon, it does get extremely hot here in the desert, so we're gonna go back to an Airbnb, we're gonna relax, and then for sunset, hopefully we'll find a nice little spot to catch it. For our late afternoon to sunset adventures, we are going to be spending it here at Valle de la Luna, or Moon Valley. Now this is probably one of the most popular spots in the entire Atacama Desert because of its proximity to San Pedro. It is kind of cool though, because this morning we spent it at Mars Valley, and now we're going to end it at Moon Valley.
There's so much to explore over here, so we kind of understand why the entrance tickets are 10,800 Chilean pesos per person. There are about 4 different routes you can take, and it actually goes on an entire circuit. You drive along, you stop, you do your little hikes, and come back. Right now, we are at the Duna Mayor, and we are walking along sand, which is so sad because I just cleaned our shoes. I emptied them in sand, and now we're on it back again. But it's so worth it, guys. Let's go check this out. Along the higher dune, you can see 2 different viewpoints. Mirador 1 takes a full hour round trip, and Mirador 2 takes about 30 minutes round trip. You can do either one as they both connect, and you can do the second one afterwards. We came to Mirador 1 first because we saw the tour group going to the second one. We were like, let's just avoid the crowds. And now we have it all to ourselves. It's amazing. You can see both sides of this incredible valley. And you can see the sand dunes right behind me, sort of where Jason is. We're approaching Mirador 2, and you can see the entire Duna Mayor right behind me. This is the higher dune, and it is gigantic. It doesn't even look real. It looks like a mirage or a fake background wall. Like, I just can't believe this view that we're getting over here. And now we know why it's so quiet towards Mirador 1. It's because all of the tour groups don't get to go to that viewpoint. They only go to viewpoint number 2, which is where we're gonna go next.
Our next little trek is called Mirador a Chaches. Now over here, there are actually 3 different viewpoints, but unfortunately we got here a little bit late, so we only have enough time for one. So the park ranger suggested we go to Mirador 1, where they have the best views. So let's go and check it out.
We believe that the third trek is along the Victoria salt mines. We're seeing it already right beside the trail. It's all salt right here. So we're gonna continue on. I think it's only about 40 minutes to complete this. Then we'll just have enough time to finish at the last point. Well, that concludes our time in Moon Valley, but as it's not sunset yet, we actually have the perfect spot to catch the sun going down, and it's actually related to the valley, so we're gonna head there right now. We made it to the sunset spot, and there are actually two viewpoints you can head up. There's the Sicari and the Coyote viewpoints. They're both in walking distance from each other, and there is tons of space to roam around, get your own spot to enjoy the sun going down, even though it gets very, very busy. If you wanted to visit this area on its own, it would cost 5,400 pesos. But if you have your Valle de la Luna ticket, it's actually included if you come on the same day. For our second last activity in the desert, we had to come to Laguna Chaxa because supposedly this is the prime spot to see flamingos, and I could not get enough of them when we visited the salt flats on the first day.
After a quick information briefing, we are now walking along a guided trail made completely of salt. And the reason why is because the Laguna actually rests at the Atacama salt flats. So we can hear the crunch of the salt underneath our feet, we can see the mountains in the back, and we are so excited to go and see some flamingos.
For our final experience in Atacama, we came to the middle of nowhere. That's because we wanted to do a little stargazing, and we actually have the best dark sky we've ever seen.
And that's because of three main reasons. Number one is a low light pollution. Number two, the clear skies. And number three, the high elevation. It is honestly so beautiful just looking up and seeing a sky full of stars. And this is just the perfect way to end our time here in the Atacama Desert.